welcome welcome to my herb garden. I have Mr. Bossy back there who does not like the fact that I am back here. He thinks he is the one in charge, so we'll see how this works. But anyway, I'm out here. I have got right here, my oregano is ready to harvest, and I'm going to take some of this in the house to dry and get it ready for either canning or cooking. And this is looking really amazing. I am really impressed with this. This is actually a second year oregano. I grew this last year from seed, and it is looking really, really good. So I'm going to chop some of this up or down and take it inside, and we'll work on preserving this in the house. And oh my goodness, that smells good. So I am just going to take this and I'm just going to kind of snip that right off. Put that in my basket. This will grow back, so not a big deal. I don't clip it very far down. I do leave it with some green growth, and this will grow right back, and I will get another harvest from it later on in the summer. I wanted this whole bed to be just nothing but oregano, so I actually did put a couple more starts in this. They will be ready to harvest later on in the year, and then hopefully they will make it through the winter just like this one did, and I will have tons of oregano. We use a lot of oregano in our cooking. I use it in my canning, so I want lots and lots of it. I even use this in a lot of my rubs. I make my own rubs for meats and stuff. So, and a lot of the recipes I have call for oregano. So we're just going to chop this all off. And the more you cut this off, the bigger it will get, and it'll spread. I want this whole thing covered. I don't know if you probably can't see my thyme next door, but that thing is just covered in thyme. That'll be the next thing to come out and harvest some of that thyme. This one is lemon thyme. That'll be the next thing to come out and get that ready. So we use a lot of thyme. We use a lot of herbs anyway, period. I've just gotten so we've used a lot of those lately. And I would highly recommend, if you cut spots, whether it's in your house or in just a small little pot, I would highly recommend growing your own herbs. Even if you just have just one like plant that you use and you harvest it off in the summertime and you cook with it, you will find such a difference. Excuse me. I have read, and I don't know how true this is, I haven't really done much research on it, but I have read that the stuff that you get in the store, it can sit on the shelf for a couple of years before it even gets to where you're gonna buy it. And you know, after having my own fresh herbs, and even like the stuff that I dehydrated last year and put up, it's still so flavorful that the stuff from the store that I can get, it doesn't have any flavor as far as, you know, what I can tell anymore. And I will never go without my own homegrown herbs again, because these just taste so much better. And you can definitely tell a difference between this stuff that I grew myself and even the stuff I dehydrated that's almost a year old. versus the store-bought stuff that just, it has no flavor. And it's so easy. Like this one just overwintered. I didn't even have to do anything with it. I didn't have to plant it. I didn't have to cover it. It just survived the entire winter and came back, and you just saw what it looked like in just a short amount of what we've had of warm weather. It looks amazing. And so this was no problem whatsoever. And this lemon thyme that's next to me, I don't know, like I said, I don't know if you can see it, but even that, you know, it survived the winter, and I'm already able to start harvesting off of that and getting that dehydrated and put up. So it's really easy to do. I know at first, even for me, growing these was a little bit intimidating, but now that I've done it for a couple of years, it's not quite that intimidating, and I add more and more herbs to what I do grow every year. So, you know, it's not, I love experimenting with it, and I love just being able to use it. So anyway, I've got this chopped down. I've got this one. This is a little smaller, so I'm just going to let it go and let it get a little bigger. And let's take this in the house, and we'll take care of it from there. Okay, so I have washed my herbs that are in here, my oregano, and this is one of the easiest ways that I have found to clean my herbs and get them all ready to go on the dehydrator. There's several ways that you can do that. You can wash them and then put them on a towel and dry them off and that sort of thing. But this is really a nice little gadget. It's called a salad spinner. If you've never used one of these, you can find them at Walmart. This one I actually got at Aldi, but I need to get a new one. This one has been through the ringer, and it's I need one that's going to be, I need to find one that's going to be a little better with little children and just a lot of continued use. So I'm on the search for a new one, but I'm going to make this one do until I can do that. With the salad spinner, you can wash, it's got a little basket in there. I don't know if the one you saw the little green basket that I used to put my herbs in. I just go take that out with me, and then I can just rinse that off in the sink. And sometimes I'll even, you know, fill this with water, especially if it's like really buggy season. Right now there's not really a whole lot of bugs, so I'm not having to do that. But sometimes I'll have, you know, little bugs that'll get on them or something, so I'll soak it inside of this with water, and then I can just strain it out. But what this does is it's got a little thing here. Now mine's busted. So, and it just spins it out. And all the water comes out, and it comes down in this little plastic part here, and then it's got a strainer that you can just strain that excess water out like that. So you can see why this would be a really fun thing for little children. It's got a little spinny thing. When you take the lid off, it has this spinny thing here. So yeah, little ones love playing with that. So I'm going to have to find something that's going to be a little bit more suitable for having little ones. So anyway, so that's that. So this is all washed and ready to go. And now this is a way, normally you would not want to wash your basil, but I have found that using this method, I have been able to wash my basil and had no problems at all with doing that. So that's what I have done and all that. So when I do my my herbs on here, I don't take the leaves off unless it's like my basil or my sage, which has really big leaves, and you can do that. But you can see these are kind of small. So I don't want to do that. I just take the whole stem and I lay them out on here. You can do this several different ways of drying your herbs. If you have a place that you can do it, you can bundle them up and actually hang them to dry. I'm actually thinking of trying that method in my greenhouse when I don't have any plants in there. And because it's nice and warm in there. Actually, it's nice and hot in there. So that would work out really well, and I wouldn't have to worry about my children playing with them or animals or anything like that. So I'm thinking of trying that method. But for now, I'm just going to use my dehydrator. You can also use your oven. Put it on your lowest setting, and you can put it in there for however long until they're dry. You want to, if you do use that method, you're gonna want to hold your door of the door of your oven open a little bit to let the humidity escape. I again have small children, so I tried that method and they kept shutting the door, which works too. You just, when they shut the door like that, then you can just go and every so often open it up and it'll still work. It's just, this is easier for me with young children. So that's what I do. Another way that you can actually dry these, and obviously a lot of this method is usually used with basil, is you can actually put it in a brown paper bag and just set it on your shelf, and they will dry that way as well. I have not tried that method. Space is a premium around here. So, my wash machine. I'm having problems with my wash machine. So it's doing its own thing. Gotta love these electronic devices. I probably crowd these too much a little bit, but you're not going to want to overlap these too much when you're doing this, because you want them to really get really good and dry. This dehydrator is new. I've never used it. This is actually my first time using this one, so I'm not sure how it's going to work. My husband Sean and my oldest son Timothy, they went into town last week sometime, and while they were there, they went to Gander Mountain, and Timothy, they had known I wanted a second one of these. I do a lot of dehydrating, and I have one dehydrator, and it would just make it so much easier if I had more than one. I've tried finding trays for the one that I currently have, and it looks like it's got a lot of damage. Anyway, the one that I currently have, it's a 4-tray just like this one. I was trying to find more trays, but I think it's so old that I can't find trays for it. So I can't add any extra trays. I may look into this one and see about getting more trays for this one if I like it. The one thing that'll be really new is my other one was I just plugged it on and it ran. This one actually has an on and off switch, and it has a temperature gauge, so I've never used that. So if for herbs and stuff, to keep the most nutritional value in your herbs, you're going to want to dehydrate them at the lowest setting. So I'm kind of excited about you being able to control my temperatures with drying my herbs, because that was a concern of mine with the other one. Am I just basically cooking out all of the nutritional value in doing that? And that's another reason why I would like to do maybe a different method in drying my herbs. Is when you do cook them like this, it doesn't matter if you're doing it in this method or in the oven, you're going to lose some of that nutritional value from cooking it or baking it, just like you would your vegetables and stuff. So it's much better to have it raw, but I need to have some of this for winter, so I'm not able to do that. I'll use a lot of this during the summer anyway, so it's not gonna, I'll use a lot of this during the summer while it's live, and then dehydrate a bunch of it for winter use, which this last winter, I used a lot of herbs. So I'm kind of really wanting to get a lot more dehydrated this year. I did not have to buy any, which was kind of nice. This is the first time I've never had to buy herbs. I have to buy some. Obviously, there's some I can't grow, but for the majority of my stuff, I was able to just grow it myself and dehydrate it. And yeah, I have a lot of, it's probably going to take at least probably 2 times of dehydrating. And these dry dehydrate really quickly. Usually at about a half hour. Now, like I said, I'm going to be doing the lowest temperature on this one, so it may take a little bit longer. So I'm not 100% sure, but I'll keep track of that. But usually, yeah, it's like a half hour tops of how long it takes to dehydrate these. And I kind of do mine a little thicker, so that doesn't help either. I'll show you how to take this off when I get done here. All right, last tray. So, what are your favorite herbs that you like? Comment below. Let me know what you like. What is your favorite herb, and would you like to, or would you be interested in growing that herb and trying it out? It's very simple to do. It really is. It's not complicated at all. I would highly recommend it. Once you do it, it's not nearly as intimidating as it is with beforehand. I know I used to really struggle with starting new things, and then I just one day just decided I was going to try something new, and ever since then kind of became addicting to try new stuff. So alright, that looks pretty good, especially since I have to do this twice anyway. Alright, so what brand is this? This is a chard, which I've never ever heard of. Awesome. Here we go. So this was the floor model at Gander Mountain. So this one they were able to get on a really good deal on. I did find that there's a couple of trays that are broken. There's like I've never used this kind before, and they have like an insert that kind of, or the inner part can come out. I'm not sure why. I haven't looked at the instructions yet. Anyway, so on this one, it's got, I don't know if you'll be able to see, it's got a temperature gauge and then an on and off switch, and it goes from 90 degrees to 160. So I'm going to do it for 90 on for my herbs, because I want to keep as much nutritional value in there. I'm going to plug it in. And it's already on. And that's just as simple as that. I'll let this do its thing, and I will come back in about a half hour and check it and see if it is done. Oh, I can smell it already. That's one thing that was really awesome about dehydrating your herbs is, it makes your house smell like whatever you're dehydrating. Oregano is one of my favorites. I like to do basil. Dill is really good too. So we're going to let this go. I got some things I need to do. In the meantime, while it's doing its thing, and I'll come back and we'll check this in about a half hour. Alright, so I'm checking this. It's been, I don't know, probably an hour or two. And this is still very, very green and stuff. This is nowhere near being ready. So apparently this is going to take a little longer than what I'm used to. So I'm going to keep track of how long this takes, kind of. So this is definitely not ready at all. Alright, so this took a little bit longer than I anticipated on the 90 degrees. It actually took about 24 hours to finish this and get it all dried. But if you take it, and yeah, I'll do this. you can hear it's all done. It is all crinkly. So yeah, the way to know if these are done is you'll be able to just crunch these up. And you can, if you want, you can kind of grind these up when you're taking them off, but just so you know, they will lose their flavor and everything faster if you do that. So I try to keep them whole as long as I can, and then when I'm using them, I'll put them in my hands and kind of rub them together, and that's what I do. Now, I'm going to get these off, and then I'm going to show you. I'm kind of liking this whole, yes, taking it longer, but I'm going to show you when I get done with all of this, just how much, or I'm going to show you, compare it to what, some that I dehydrated last year. So yeah, I'm just going to take this off and put this in a jar. You can, if you want, just take the whole branch and stick it in your jar, and then take it off later.
And you can.
Or, yeah, right there. Or, like, I'm just going to take the leaves off and stick those in there.
And you need them for fat. There. Okay,
so I'm going to do this.
Okay.
And then I will show you how much I get from the stuff that I dehydrated. And I will show you right there, a side-by-side of what I did last year on a higher heat, and show you kind of what's, just going to do like a side-by-side anyway of what I'm doing, and then you can see the difference. So that is one thing that I am liking about, even though it takes longer, there's a definite difference. So I'm going to get these taken off, and then I will show you that. So you saw me put all that on this tray, and this is how much I got from all of that. Now I will continue to fill this up, and I'll probably just compact it in there so I can just have a whole bunch in there. So if you're wondering about the stems, even though you dehydrate them and you put them in here, they're still, even if you cook with them, they still are really, really tough. So I just take them out. The only way that I would ever use them is if I was going to grind this up with like a food processor or something. But I'm not going to do that. I just find it's easier to take it out. And while I'm crushing them up and putting them into stuff, you know, sometimes I can feel the sticks in there, the stems. And then I'll just take them out then too. And every once in a while, they'll get into a dish. It's not the end of the world. It's just, then you have that stick that's in there. So that's what I would do with this. That's how I do my oregano. I actually do all my herbs kind of like that. I just dehydrate them and just put them in a jar, and I don't crush any of them until they are ready to go into something. That way, you know, the fuller the leaf, the longer it's going to keep its flavor. So I wanted to show you, and I'm not sure how well this is going to show up, but I'm hoping it'll show up pretty good. This is this year's. This is the stuff that I dried at 90 degrees. And this is the stuff that I dried last year in my other dehydrator, which does not have a temperature control. And I have absolutely no idea what temperature it does. But look at the difference in color. This one is definitely a lighter green. And this is the same plant. But that is so much more lighter green. So I kind of like that, growing it or dehydrating it on the lower temperature. Just because it kind of keeps more of its natural color a little bit. So that is what. That's how I take care of my oregano. That's how I dehydrate it, and I will just put this. I gotta label it. My tape's up in the greenhouse, but I will just label this and put it in my pantry. And this is already ready to use, and I will have this ready for the whole year. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed hanging out with me today, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.